Maruti Suzuki Jimny needs no introduction, right? You may have seen a lot of reviews, a lot of action shots, a lot of off-road shots, but today I'm going to talk about my Jimny and my experience with my Jimny. I've had this for a few months now, clocked over 3,000 kilometers, commuting in the city, highways, of course taking it to the mountains, a fair bit of off-road driving as well. What is good about it? What could have been better? What are the pros? What are the cons? And should you even consider buying the Jimny if you're still sitting on the fence? So let's get down to it, talk about my experience with my Jimny. Now there's one thing which has been under a lot of discussion is the performance of the Jimny. A lot of people have been saying that highway performance is not that great, it's a little sluggish, but my other car is a 155 bhp turbo petrol, and of course that's quicker than this. So overtakes on the highway you have to plan. It is not as quick as a turbo petrol, but frankly the Jimny is not lacking in performance unless you're in a tearing hurry to get anywhere. It will comfortably cruise at 100 kilometers per hour all day long. I have set the cruise control on the highway at 118 on the expressway where the speed limit is 120, and I've done 300 kilometers a day, no problems whatsoever. And even when overtaking on a single lane road, you just need to make calculations. Overtakes need to be calculated, but I wouldn't say the Jimny is underpowered. Yes, it lacks that punch, but it doesn't feel underpowered in any sense. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the fuel economy. Now I've been using it in the city, I've been using it in the highway, I've used it on the mountains, used 4x4. In the city I've been getting around between 11 to 12 kilometers per liter consistently, depending on traffic conditions of course. I think on the manual Jimny at least, which is the one that I am driving, unless you drive with a very heavy foot, it will not go to single digits. You'll still be able to get about 10 and a half easily in the city. And on the highway, even if you're driving very sportily, you will easily get 12-13 kilometers per hour. When I was doing a long drive, which was 600 kilometers one way, and with a mix of plains and mountains, overall, it returned me 17.3 kilometers per liter, and I've been driving at 90-100 all day. Places where I had to slow down, of course. So I think long distance, this is a really fuel efficient car. 17 kilometers per liter is quite acceptable. And only thing is when you hit the mountains, your fuel economy will drop, because I was climbing up from almost 100 meters above sea level to about 2,100 meters sea level. Then the FE dropped to about 8.5 kilometers per liter. But once I had to use 4x4, which was a 10 kilometer trail, then the FE, the fuel economy, dropped drastically to about 5-6 kilometers per liter. So 4x4, you will get half of what you get in normal two-wheel drive, especially while climbing mountains. So yes, drastic fall in fuel economy when you use 4x4. But if you're doing long distance on the highway, average, I think over a period of time, 15-16 kilometers per liter, you can easily get on the Jimny. Now let's talk about a few of the modifications that I've done on the Jimny. In terms of the car, mechanically it's all stock. I haven't upsized the tires. Many people do upsize the tires. I didn't feel the need to. And it's bone stock. Some people talk about something called a throttle controller, which is said to give it more urgency in the performance. I haven't gone for that either. What I have used are mainly creature comforts. Cubbyholes on this here, on the door to keep your phone. There's a center console here which I've ordered off of Amazon, which helps because otherwise there's a serious lack of cubbyholes. There's no place to keep water bottle, there's no place to keep your phone, there's no place to keep your wallet, and even your sunglass case or spectacle case, there's no space whatsoever. Even the center console which I've ordered off of Amazon, that will not give you, those cup holders are really small. So for long drives, I use 2 small flasks. So a 1 liter bottle will not fit there. So that is a serious problem with the Jimny, a lack of cubby holes. In the rear also, there's no space for cubby holes, knickknacks. That is something you need to keep in mind, because in 2025, a lot of other cars at this price point, subcompact SUVs, of course not 4x4s, you get a lot of cubby holes. 4 doors will have bottle holders, a lot of space to keep your phone, your sunglasses, your wallet, and what have you. In that department, the Jimny seriously lacks. Rear seat, there's one small accessory which I've used. I would not recommend it if you have 4 people or you have rear passengers, but it's this of Amazon again, because the seat belt, you need to keep the belt always in the buckle because there's no sensor in the seat and keeps beeping, very irritating. So this one, if you're not using the rear seat, no passengers in the rear seat, then even if the belt is not fastened, then it will not beep. But again, this is aftermarket and I don't know how safe this is. I would not recommend it, but this is what it is. The belt also goes in here, and you also get dummy slots which you can use for the rear seat belts when you're not using the rear seats. So rear seat comfort, as you can see, 4 people can sit comfortably. No problems there whatsoever. The seat can be reclined 1 step, not much, but yeah, 1 step it can be reclined. So for long drives, that's good enough. Only problem is the under thigh support. The bench is not very wide, so it lacks a little bit of under thigh support. So short bursts, no problem. Short drives, no problem. An hour or two, no issues. Even longer drives, many people have not complained, but I feel that with a little bit of more under thigh support, Jimny could have been more comfortable for the passengers. And again, this is not something that we use. We don't frankly use rear passengers at any time. But for long drives, 8-9 hours drive, a bit of more under thigh support could have really made the passengers, the rear seat passengers, feel more comfortable indeed. One more thing, talking about the rear seat comfort, there are no cubby holes, nothing in the rear seat. So if you want to keep your phone, your wallet, there's absolutely nothing, not even a bottle holder, not even a pocket to keep your phone. So that's a big miss on the Jimny. So practically, if you're 4 people traveling all the time, the rear passengers will always complain about cubby holes. So no space to keep your wallet or your phone at all. So now if you're going to use the Jimny for touring, adventure touring, then boot is important. Of course, it gets 208 liters of space, so that's the amount of space you have. You can put a few bags here and there, but that's about it. With the seats folded down, you can expand it to 332 liters, but then only 2 people can travel on it. So yes, boot space is limited, but if you pack light, then it could work well for you. I have also installed this aftermarket plastic covers on the inside of the boot hatch to cover the rear defogger wires, which are otherwise exposed. So if you watch this video till now, you would want to know whether you should consider buying the Jimny or not. You're probably sitting on the fence, still thinking about the pros and cons. Let's talk about the cons first. It's still a body-on-frame SUV, so it will not be as comfortable as a monocoque SUV like a compact SUV or subcompact SUV. So that's something you need to keep in mind. It's not as planted, not as stable, especially over curvy roads. There'll be some body roll, but it's not that uncomfortable also, which will make you bounce around all day long. It's not that uncomfortable. And there are a lack of cubby holes. There's no space to keep water bottles for long drives, so that's something also you need to keep in mind. And if you have elderly people in your family, kids in your family, and you prefer going on long drives 8-9 hours at a stretch, then the rear seat doesn't provide that under thigh support, which is essential in my book for long drives for everybody to go in comfort. So those are small niggles that you need to keep in mind, that this is a purpose-built SUV and it's built for a specific purpose only. That doesn't mean it only does off-roading. You can commute on it, you can do long distance driving on it, and of course you can go to mountains, explore trails where no other two-wheel drive compact SUV or subcompact SUV will be able to go. And that's the premise of the Jimny. It can take you places and you can do really hardcore off-road driving also if you're so inclined. So it depends on your personal choice really, what kind of driving, what kind of people will be using the Jimny. If you like adventure driving like the way I do, you want to go explore new places, new horizons where no other car is capable of doing, a two-wheel drive car, then the Jimny is definitely for you at that price bracket. But if you are looking for creature comforts at that price bracket, there are plenty of other subcompact SUVs, compact SUVs, which will give you more comfort and more creature comforts, more space for everyone, for all 4 passengers.